Hey, what's happening? Hello and welcome to the next installment of Wonderfully Weird Japan, where we talk about and look at and I show you some really cool, weird, neat things. So let's get on with Supaidāman. Supaidāman! I love how it just sounds. Spider-Man. Japanese Spider-Man. And it's not the Spider-Man you know and, well, can think of and love. But in my opinion, I feel like this one should be just up there with people who are fans of Spider-Man. You should really look into this, praise this a little bit more for just how interesting it is and the culture Japan took it. And the animated Spider-Man series from the 90s. This, and the Sam Raimi's are probably my favorite Spider-Man incarnations. But we have a Japanese live-action Tokusatsu television series produced by Toei, loosely based on, Marvel's Spider-Man. It lasted 41 episodes on TV Tokyo from May of 1978 to March of 1979. Let's get into this weird, wonderful history of this. Let's start with the story. There's a motorcycle racer, Takuya Yamashiro, and he's a young guy, and he sees a UFO, basically, and it's a space warship named the Marveler. His father, Dr. Hiroshi Yamashiro, is a space archaeologist, investigating the case, but sadly is killed upon finding this craft. This attracts the attention of Professor Monster and the evil Iron Cross Army, Tetsu Jujidan, an alien group that plans to rule the universe. When don't they, honestly? And they always want to see them rule either all the universe or just Earth for some reason. Takuya follows his father, discovers Garia, the last surviving warrior of planet Spida, a world destroyed by, Monster and his Iron Cross army. Garia explains that he was hunting Professor Monster, but now that this year he needs to carry on this fight, and he injects Takuya with some of his own blood. So that's what gives him his spider-like powers. Gives him a bracelet that can activate in an awesome way. I love how the spider costume just appears. And he can shoot webs, and all that kind of stuff there. And his big, giant battle robot, his Transformer, kind of minded more from Power Rangers as Leopardon. Again, the opening and ending are so different, but the opening, change Leopardon. It's pretty interesting. It's a fun little opening, and the ending's like this weird Western type of thing that makes me think cross between Bill Bixby's Hulk and just like a Western of like Clint Eastwood or something. I mean, you're going to love seeing how he just whoop. There's some amazing funny stuff on this. But it's really good, as low budget and cheesy as it kind of is. We meet other characters because his income, being Spider-Man, he can't participate in races. His gal pal, Hitomi, to help this, and then he has his family. He has his 18-year-old younger sister, Shinko. She takes care of the household, the chores. She's the one kind of in charge of him and his money, which is, she's like, I don't know if you should be wasting, she's pretty, got that strong head kind of, I like the vibes, the personality she has. His 7-year-old brother, Takuji, his girlfriend, Hitomi, she's a freelance photographer, and she's the only character besides Supaidāman to ride the Spider Machine GP7, which is this cool, badass car that, eventually all that stuff transforms and becomes Leopardon. And the usual for the story continues. It's kind of episodic, you get different bad guys in the typical, monster in the rubber suit costumes, the battle and fight, has to hide his identity, keep it secret, and then lots of, if you have a spider phobia, like, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero since I was a kid, and I'm not a fan of spiders, so there's that. Your spider senses, the ones that'll freak you out, might be best on like a few, like the first couple episodes, and then every so often, there's a lot of good shots of just real dangling spiders. But, they gotta do something, right, for his trippy stuff. The suit, spider protector to keep his identity, it's very interesting. He can climb the walls, he has those spider-like abilities. He gets the spider sense, strength, greater than the average guy. And of course, he has some of the weaknesses they have. Being sensitive towards the cold. There's a reason why I like winter besides Christmas and Elsa. But there are some interesting episodes, then we'll get more talk of the villain. And then some very interesting episodes. Wait till you see episode 7, Spider-Man Boogie. A hit song, who would have thunk it? Other cool factors was he helps and befriends a young boy, and he saves him by giving some of his blood. So then, is he going to be part Spider? They go their separate ways, but I have a feeling we shall see him again, maybe. Spider-Boy? And I love the facial expressions that you can see in the mask sometimes. Like, sometimes it looks like he's very, very angry or grumpy sometimes. So he keeps his identity secret, but only Juzo Mamiya and the staff of Interpol Secret Intelligence Division know Spider-Man's true identity. Starting with the movie and every episode of the series from 11 and onward, basically. Everything is them trying to stop the schemes of the Iron Cross Army and all the other minions. The Iron Cross Army, alien army, destroyed numerous galaxies in their path of, taking over everything. The Professor Monster, Mansuta Kyoju. He's the leader. He's responsible for the destruction of Spider Planet. And 400 later wants to conquer Earth. Again, like Rita Repulsa, to conquer Earth! The blood of other life forms served to make him immortal. I don't want to spoil too many episodes. Go watch us 41. We won't see what happens to him or what happens between him and a battle. And then there's the Amazoness, the female commander. She's in charge of, the espionage and the planning of attacks. And it's attack, lead all these monsters and so on. She's got a very nice outfit, by the way. It looks very nice. Attractive women in this show. And of course, the Iron Cross Army henchmen, which are basically putties. This show was apparently the result of a 3-year licensing agreement with Marvel that allowed them to, both these companies to use each other's properties in the ways they wanted. Toei planned to use Spider-Man as a supporting character for an unmade television series, starring a fictionalized version of Yamato Takeru, who was sent to the present via time warp. Let's do the time warp again. The character who would have appeared on the show was intended to be identical to the Marvel version, however, they decided to make Spider-Man the protagonist instead, and the character of Yamato Takeru was revised into Garia. It deviated from the source material completely outside of Spider-Man's costume and his powers and gadgets. He gets more cool gadgets. It has, really nothing to do with Spider-Man, which I find entertaining, how this is, it's not Peter Parker, it's just an interesting take. Take that into the Spider-Verse. There was this before you guys came up with stuff with these multiple different Spider-Mans. Japan beat you to it. Because of this licensing, Toei also had a result of getting deals including Battle Fever J, an animated television movie based on the book of Tomb of Dracula, and then Marvel used the main robots from 2 of Toei's anime programs, Wakusei Robo Danguard Ace and Chodenji Robo Combattler V. I really need to start talking about Combattler V. And their convocation of the Shogun Warriors toy line, and then a toy version of Leopardon, sold in the United States, and all that. The show was basically criticized for not resembling the Marvel version at all. Staff at Marvel Comics, including Spider-Man's co-creator Stan Lee, praised the show for its special effects and stunt work, which it is nice. Some of the effects they aged a bit, but they're still pretty interesting. And the stunt work, very nice, which is what you get from these type of shows from Japan. And again, I agree, especially those spider-like movements of the character himself. I really like it. Obviously, to attract the younger audience, but I feel like it's growing up now. We're finding it a little bit more teens, younger adults, older adults, and stuff like that are really enjoying this. Of course, they sold action figures and all sorts of neat things with the series. Because Spider-Man is Marvel, Toei wasn't allowed to rerun the series or use publicity stills of Spider-Man without paying licensing fees. So the way to get around this basically was original characters and other elements exclusive to Toei, basically the villainess and the Leopardon, were exempt from the issue, so, because they were the creators of Toei. As a result of this, though, only a single VHS collection of episodes was released in Japan during the 1980s, and reprints of the official soundtrack had the original cover on the jack replaced with Leopardon. But eventually, we would see the series come later. In 2004, Toei began renegotiating with Marvel for the rights to release a series of DVDs in Japan, and there's a box set December 9th, 2005, all 41 episodes and the movie, and some neat special features. Also, on March 5th, 2009, Marvel began broadcasting the series to an international audience for the first time on their website. So, with English subtitles, which is a nice thing to see as well. Again, what was neat was he had the Spider Protector. It's Takeo's Spider-Man costume. It's stored inside the Spider Bracelet, and wears it when changing identities. And again, you're going to love seeing it, but it's for quick, easy access. The Spider Bracelet does that. It's also used to shoot webbing. Get the spider net and all that kind of neat things. Spider strings, a rope made of spider webbing shot from the bracelet. Spider net. Then you have the Spider Machine GP7, Spider-Man's flying car, machine guns, missile launchers, and then that's where we get to the greatest, Leopardon. Giant robot that the Marveler can transform into. Over 60 meters, 200 feet tall, and weighs about 25,000 tons. You just see it do the battles. They're repetitive like that. Why it makes me think of my first experience of this kind of stuff was Power Rangers, where you saw every episode. They fight, then they unite, and then when they're about to battle, they call for the sword, and then that's how they finish it off. And that's basically how this is with the battles. Gets into the thing, they battle, and then he gets the sword, blasts the baddie away, and it is gone. But only the first few episodes of the series included actual battle scenes. As it progressed, dramatic portions of episodes were made longer, battle scenes made shorter to keep up with the running time. So basically, the numerous things were just be who to get the sword and boom, on and done. Sometimes they'll just reuse the same stuff of Leopardon, but Leopardon's pretty cool. These scenes are always pretty cool. If you're a fan of this stuff, you already know this stuff's pretty cool. So that's what's really interesting about Japanese Spider-Man. I think it had a good direction, it had a good story, good acting, good effects, and it was just, it's fun. And if you're a fan of Spider-Man, you will like this. If you're a fan, basically, again, if you're a fan of Spider-Man, Japan, the Tokusatsu genre, special filming, Japanese term for live-action television drama with special effects, think, again, this, think Godzilla, think all that. It's a popular form of Japanese entertainment. And it's nice to see Spider-Man mixed in with that, and it's a different spin, like spinning a web, of Spider-Man. Go check it out. It's weird, it's out there, but it's fun, it's entertaining, it's got some cheese to it, it's got some heart to it. It's well done. You could kind of tell that it had some kind of passion and love put into it. All the actors, I think, did a great job with their roles, and it's just entertaining. As a kid, I can sure see you liking a teen, too, and the adults. I think it's good for everyone. Again, if you like Spider-Man, you like Power Rangers, together, bam, this is what you got, and this is one of my favorite incarnations of Spider-Man ever. Go check it out. Really, go check it out if you haven't. It's a very interesting look, interesting history, unique little show, and just a unique time for Japanese television and for Marvel. More on the way. Thanks for watching, and please like, share, subscribe. Any other Japanese or just weird Japanese content you'd like me to touch, let me know. Thank you.
Do you like Power Rangers?
Yeah!
Do you like Spider-Man?
Yeah!
What if Japan brought them together?
Say what?